I can move it to this side. If I move it to this side, it'd be better than moving it to that side. Hello, my name is Darren. I'm a dad. I'm an airline pilot. I am a husband of a scientist. It is Tuesday at 6:17 p.m. Central Time, and I'm live. I go live randomly. There's no one here yet, and you only know if I go live or not by having the notification bell turned on your YouTube. I get it annoying. I do have it turned on some of my channels that I subscribe to because I do like to get the latest content. I'm off for a long time. I've been home for a couple days and I don't go to work till next week in theory. Howdy, G Man and Alex and Kay, doing fairly well. If you follow my other social media platforms, I did go to Albuquerque, New Mexico today. So I went to Albuquerque and back to test drive a car. I was in Albuquerque all of about 2 hours and 40 minutes. Landed, sat down, had to wait for the dealership to open, so I sat down in the airport lobby for about 25 minutes. Head over to CarMax, test drove a car for about 25 minutes, and headed back to the airport. Hey, Captain Mickey Mouse. I don't say who I work for publicly because I can never appear to support my airline. I mean, I can't. Sorry, I can't ever appear to be a spokesman for the airline. I am based in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas, though, for a big airline. In my free time, okay, I am a dad, so I did lots of dad stuff, homework, trombone lessons for trombone driving around for my oldest kid, and then playing dolls with my youngest kid. Beyond that, if I'm not doing a dad stuff, I'm into cars, computers. I'm sitting in front of 2 or 4 giant computer screens right now, and then travel. I love these live formats and your videos. Currently studying for CFI. Delta fan, thank you very much. CFI is weird, isn't it? Like when you're a student pilot and you're going up through the ranks, you do your private, and that makes sense. And then you do your instrument, you're like, I got that. Then you do your commercial, like, okay, it's a little weird, but commercial makes sense. And then CFI. CFI is so weird. It's so weird because I thought CFI would be just teaching, right? I went to college to be a teacher. I can teach. I love teaching. No, 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 no. As you know, CFI, it's flying, but at least when I went through, it's all this abstract crap that has nothing to do with flying. And I get it because they want to make sure people know how to teach, but man, is it weird. Hey, Mr. Greenidge, thank you. Hey, Cody and Nick, what kind of car did you test drive in Albuquerque? A Mercedes EQS 580. It was a used Mercedes. I am not buying a new Mercedes. It was a used Mercedes EQS 580, and I think I'm gonna wait to see if they drop the price. By it's at CarMax. So you can't haggle the pricing, but the car needs tires, and so I'm gonna wait. If it drops it by $1,000, I might pull the deal. If not, I'll just wait. I don't need a car right now anyway. It'd be a fun thing to do. Hey there, and your neck of wish for ATB CTP. Hey, Mr. Burns, enjoy Dallas. It's gonna storm tomorrow. Good luck on ATB CTP. What kind of plane you gonna be doing your testing in or your sim in? I had not gotten to see a 777X up close at all. What makes airline choose what variant of planes to use for which routes? Jaden, it has it again. So that's a really good question. So back when I first started flying for my as a regional 17 years ago, my parent airline, who I work for now, they flew only one, for the most part, one fleet type per route. So the MD-80 would do all flights from Dallas to Albuquerque or Dallas to Houston, and no other fleet types would do it. They kept the same fleets on each side. Now, that was really good because sometimes it'd be too big of a plane for that time slot, and it'd be wide open flights, right? As non-revs, we loved it. I mean, I specifically remember my wife and I used to go to DC on Saturday evening. We go on Saturday morning, come back Saturday evening because the Saturday evening flight was like a wide open MD-80. Because who's leaving DC at 7 o'clock at night on a Saturday? No one. But they have changed that. They went bankrupt. So nowadays, they change. They know they have all these algorithms and they know the bookings, and so they know between two city pairs like Dallas and Chicago or Dallas and Austin. Thank you, Alex. They might see heavy bookings in the morning, light bookings in the afternoon, and heavy bookings in the evening. So they'll book a Airbus 321 in the morning, big old airplane, right? then maybe an RJ middle of the day when it's not that many people, or 319, and then another maybe a 737 800 later in the day. So they decide based on how many people they need to move, but also cargo. Like for London, Dallas, London, it's a heavy cargo. I'm told the 777 can hold tens of thousands of pounds more cargo than a 787 can. So they put our big 777s on the London routes because it holds a lot of cargo. But on the other side, the 777 uses a whole lot of fuel compared to a 787. So the 787 is more like a Prius than the 777 is more like a big old Escalade ESV. What's your philosophy on car leasing? Do you lease all your cars? So I don't lease a lot of cars. I have done the only car leases I've ever done have been for my airport cars. So I've leased a smart electric car, two Chevys, and now this Chevrolet Equinox EV. I had a Hyundai kind of sort of. My personal cars, I buy them. Um, leasing you have to be very careful on leasing. I am not a car buying expert, but on my leases I've done, I've never put any money down. I never put any money down on a lease because that just goes away. Not even sales tax. I've been able to find cars in dealerships that are able to use like sales tax credits, so I don't pay any sales tax at all on the lease, or they can roll the sales tax in. On my current lease I have right now with my Chevy, I posted a video about this on my YouTube. I'm paying $187 a month all in. No, I'm not. I put nothing down. I'm paid the lease in full for 2 years, right? $4,400, but I put nothing down. Um, leasing can be very if you can structure a lease the right way. And again, I am not a car buying expert, but like Lease Hacker can help you quite a bit. Um, but for my personal cars, I don't lease. Maybe I should, but my Model 3 I had for 4.5 years. They didn't even offer leasing back then. My Model X I've had for almost 2 years now. 100% accurate on the description. Thank you, Delta Van. What instrument does your kid play? Trombone. Hey, love your videos. I'm at the Regionals flying 175. We'll go mainline eventually. Hey, William Tong. I flew the 175 for about a year at Envoy. Go to airline conventions. Hey, in Dallas over the weekend. Citation Bravo. Full flight sim delivery. Good luck with this storm tomorrow. I'm kind of jealous. I've only been in one citation ever. It's the ATP citation. It'd be kinda neat to fly. I mean, it would be a different lifestyle flying for corporate versus a big old mainline. Hey, Aaron, thank you very much. Have you ever flown with Juan Brown? I have not. ATP C3 and Embraer 145 and Airbus 320. Awesome, Mr. Burns. I love the 145. You might know that or not, but 145 is an awesome airplane to fly. And my first day as an instructor tomorrow, teaching the DA40 here in Myrtle Beach, I think it is. I've been looking into conventions and recruiting events like you previously suggested. New CFI, Nick, first, I've never got to fly the DA40. I heard it's a hard plane to slow down. As far as being a new CFI, take your time. Uh, if your student's not doing very well, it could be you. And for me personally, before I turn on the battery master, start the engine of an airplane, I want to make darn sure the student understands what we're doing in the plane. Because remember when you were a student, hey, we're going to do steep turns and stalls today. Okay, and maybe you didn't really understand how to do a steep turn or stall, but you went along because you didn't want to look stupid. I would ask my students, okay, hey, before we go up in the airplane today, or before we start the airplane, when we get up there, just walk me through a steep turn. Walk me through a stall, a power on stall, a power off stall, so that I could see before we waste any 100 low lead that they truly understood what the maneuver meant. Because, for my personal opinion, when you're up in the air, it shouldn't be teaching; it should be watching them demonstrate. Right? Maybe a little teaching, but you don't want to waste time trying to tell them how to do a stall in the air. That makes sense. And then always the next day, I would always say, hey guys, before we get started on today, what did you learn yesterday? And I would make it uncomfortable. Like I don't want them to say, oh, we learned how to do stalls yesterday. And I want them to like pull out of their heads to make sure that they actually got the information I was trying to give them the day before. Because again, not every student learns the same way. And I am not an amazing teacher. I think I'm pretty darn good, but I'm not amazing. So sometimes I would think I would get the information across to my students, but in fact, they had no idea what I was trying to tell them. Tesla versus your Equinox, interior wise, which is more comfortable and which you think is a better value? Oh, they're very different vehicles. Now, I'll compare them. We have a Model Y, Model X, and an Equinox EV. The Model Y compares to the Equinox EV more than my Model X. The Equinox EV is way more comfortable than my Model Y. Our Model Y is. It's better built too. I mean, our Model Y is a very early Model Y. We bought it August of 2020 when it first came out. The new ones were probably better, but the Equinox is better built. The range is more accurate. I think it's a better value than Model Y personally. Hey, greetings from Tulsa. What's the shortest possible turnaround for a narrow body? Some of the ultra low cost carriers only do 25 minutes. Is that enough paperwork, refueling, and baggage passenger? So LC, it depends, right? So like an RJ, we used to do 20-minute turns, 25 minute turns for an RJ. Now for a 319, I think we can do it in like 30 minutes at mainline, and it's quick. Everything has to go right. So, but it's possible. You know, as far as like the briefings, it's pretty limited. Like unless we always brief everything, but if you're just doing Dallas to Austin back to Dallas, BFR day, no MELs, nothing going on, it can be done. But you throw in an MEL, like a no APU, you throw in a couple of wheelchairs, you throw in somebody getting sick on the airplane, and that 30-minute turn goes to crap real quick. But as far as baggage though, once you just put the parking brake on, they're popping that baggage door. And many times, if you're having a connecting flight, say you're going from Austin to Houston to Miami, you have a tight connection, your bags will probably make it before you do. Because once they set the parking brake, there is someone there to get your bag out of that airplane and bring it to your next airplane. Like they have baggage runners that are going for your only bag. When they see your bag come off the airplane and they yank it, and that's all the bags going to Miami, they run to your next flight. People YouTube channel got their leased electric Fiats just for text. I saw that. They're in Colorado. They have great deals in Colorado. Thanks for getting for upgrade training. Yeah. Hey, Andrew. Yeah, that's a lot. Review the FOM a lot. Take your time. As an FO, FOs and captains, we have the same ratings. We fly the same airplane. But at the end of the day, the captain has more responsibility, right? Your biggest tool as a captain is the parking brake. If you're not happy, the plane doesn't move. Take your time. You need to have a reason to release the parking brake, right? Take your time. Love your content. My son is thinking of aviation, enjoys flight sim. I know you say stay away from flight sim until after private. What about your younger aspiring aviators? So, Brett, it's fine if they're like 13, 14 years old to play around on flight sim. What I don't want them doing is flying on flight sim thinking that is exactly how the actual airplane flies. Because on a flight sim, the planes are perfect. They are perfect airplanes, and real planes aren't perfect. So they can do the basic fundamentals. That's fine. But it's like driving a car, right? You drive a car on Need for Speed on your computer. It is not the same as driving a car out on the highway because there's bumps, there's undulations, there's vibrations, there's all that other stuff. Let's get in touch. Might be able to show you around CAE, TC, West of DFW. And I've been there. I've been there before, Mr. Lehman. CJ 145, CJ 200 don't have slats. What makes the approach angle so different? They have different wings, very different shaped wings. The 145, I don't have a model of that plane. That's one I don't have a model of. The 145 can go, if you follow a flight level change, the 145, like it's followed all the animation. You do 240 to 10,000 feet, then 270 to like 20,000 feet, then Mach 0.56 to 370. At 370 at Mach 0.56, you're doing like 180 knots in the air. You're totally safe. At Mach 0.56, the CRJ 200 or 700, you're stalling. You're dying. They're very different wings. In Bentonville, Arkansas, we are testing autonomous car traffic signal less around the Walmart facilities, meaning a way to cross the intersections without traffic signals in a self-driving car. Interesting. And I was looking at going to Bentonville because they have a lot of Mercedes dealerships up there. Hey, Ethan. Hey, Darren. Are you able to non-rev on other airlines or jump seat? Oh, I can non-rev too. Yeah, so I can non-rev on U.S. airlines inside, and I can non-rev on U.S. airlines. I have to jump seat. But like I went on Lufthansa to Frankfurt a couple years ago. That was a Z. So it was a non-rev because it was non-revenue, but I still had to pay them money. Not liking my. Oh wait. When you want the nickel tour of the dispatch office, give me a shout. I do need to go to the IOC. my Tesla is just. I bought my Model X Plaid because I wanted something stupid fast, and eh, the quickness is over. I'm over the quickness, um, and the doors are annoying. The falcon wing doors with kids are annoying. So I'm ready for something more different. Oh, we are live. Hey, Mr. Rumsey. If you have this staffing, you can turn it on everybody in 30 minutes. I believe that. Evening, Deering. How would you call the next 10 years of commercial aviation? I think the hiring is, I mean, I think this would be a good time to be a pilot pending a worldwide economic downturn, right? You never know when some country's going to do something stupid and cause a big economic bump in the world, right? It happens. Aviation is cyclical, right? We have high points and low points, and you don't know if you're in a high point or low point until you're already in it. You can't predict it. You can't say, okay, in 3 years from now, we're gonna have a crazy hiring spree, and so it'll be really, really good. You have no idea. I was gonna look at the retirements for this remaining part of the year for my airline. Between now and the end of the year, about 800 pilots have to retire from my airline. 800 this year, but 800 next year, and 800 the year after that. So between now and the end of 2027, that's 2,400 pilots have to retire by my airline. Now, it does go down to about 700 after that. And the year when I retire, it's only 370 pilots. I retire in 2042. Have you ever had a reason to have passion removed for any reason? I have, Chad. I was a captain. I removed a dad and son in Madison, Wisconsin, because they were drunk and not following my flight attendant's commands at the gate. If you thought about starting subscription tiers to join your channel, Grant, I have, but I don't want people's money. I think the bigger my channel gets, I'm gonna get it to a point, and I'm getting close now. I'm having trouble responding to all comments and DMs. Um, I'm not sure how I'm gonna handle that. 'Cause I like responding to every single message I get, but I don't want your money. I don't want people spending money on me. So I'll have to think about how I'm gonna do that. Thank you. Also in Madrid, I recommend Chocolateria San Giannis for chocolates. It's very famous. I've heard of that, LC. Thank you. Just finished a cadet technical interview with one of the regionals for your airline. Aced it. Awesome. Knuckles. I was told if you want to work for your airline, though, you know what, Tyler Hill, you'll hear that myth a lot. I worked for our wholly owned subsidiary. I am exceptionally average. I am not God's gift to aviation. I cannot throw a football. I can palm a basketball. I'm a 2.9 GPA in college student. I am exceptionally average, and I was able to get hired from our wholly owned regional to mainline. And how did I do it? By airline conventions and networking. La 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 la. For medical emergency, how do you determine whether to divert or continue? Do you have a doctor available on ATC? The prehistoric gamer, there's a chain of command. So we have certain reasons why we're going to divert right away. A few of them could be active bleeding, uncontrolled bleeding, active childbirth. If we gave the paddles have delivered a shock, or if they are unconscious, then we're going to divert right away. Anything else, there's a chain of command we go through, including we can call a doctor, and our flight attendants can call a doctor from their tablets right away, anywhere in the world, especially on 777. Do you know any pilots with severe food allergies or celiac disease? And if so, how do they handle that on trips? Colin, I don't. I'm sure they're out there, but I've never talked to anybody that has severe food allergies, though. Nick, you're very welcome. Hey, Darren, new to the channel, and I've been binging on many of your videos, procrastinating a lot, but hopefully going to start my PPL this spring. Hey, Mr. Taylor, have you taken a Discovery flight yet? Discovery flight, and then the next stop will be an FAA medical, and get a first class medical. For a PPL, you only need a third class. Get a first class. Why, Darren? Great question, Darren. Here's the reason. I saw a young lady on TikTok about 2 years ago, went through all of her ratings with a third class medical. That's all she needed, right? And then here she is getting the $1,500 ready to go to airlines and get a first class medical and didn't qualify. It took her a year to get all the paperwork to qualify. And she had started this process a long time ago. She could have been a year ahead. So qualify for a first class medical. Make sure you have no issues. Again, we can't pick our genetics, but qualify for a first class medical and take a Discovery flight, Mr. Taylor. How about a question? If you fly a biz jet, what would be the one? Probably a Honda jet because they have neat engines. I'm supposed to graduate in May from college, but always want to be a pilot. Is it still worth it to become a pilot? Saying, I think it is worth it to become a pilot. I love what I do. I love what I do. And again, I've been doing this a long time, 17 years, and I have a lot of free time. Because again, I am off for a long time. I'm off. My watch told me to get up and be active. I finished my last trip. I think it was last. Good lord, I have to look at my calendar because I'm not thinking straight. I finished my last trip on Friday from Madrid. I don't report to work in theory until next week. Now, that's gonna be an issue because my wife's like, "You can't stay home for a week and a half," because I drive her. She works over here, and I drive her crazy. So I had to find something to do. I have a lot of free time. I love what I do. Hey, Darren. Sometimes you mentioned pilots who make $1 million in a year by gaming the system. So daily, it's very airline specific. Because again, I have friends at Delta, United, Southwest, Alaska, and we all make similar amounts per hour for the same airline for the same equipment. We have different work rules, and it's the work rules of each airline. If you get in, dive into the contract. 'Cause again, my job, flying the plane, is the easy part of my job. Scheduling and understanding the contract are much more difficult. We have people that you can call for contract advice. We have a whole website. I'm pointing to my screen that my union maintains that has like FAQs and of course the whole contract on there. But understanding how you can, it's part gambling and part manipulating, using the contract to your advantage. You can make more money as an airline pilot. But the tricks I can do at my airline, my friends at Delta cannot do. What they can do over there, I can only dream of doing over here. So hey Darren, had my first flying lesson, 30 years old, well, which went pretty well, besides slight motion sickness toward the end. Do you reckon that's an issue or continue? Sam, continue. It's new. It's a new experience to you. Look at your hydration levels. Stay hydrated. Don't eat a lot of greasy food. Eat some like good, like, oatmeal, like stuff that's just stay in your gut for a while. But you'll get used to it. And awesome starting, by the way. Incheon vlog, work in progress. No, well, maybe later, right? My next trip in theory is Madrid, so we'll have to see. But I have Madrid, London, and Incheon in that order. That's only 3 trips I have next month. I cleared out my schedule to hopefully pick up extra flying. We'll see. I will have to pick up at least one more flight because that's only 60. That's what 30, 20, 20. 70 hours, 20, 20, yeah, 70 hours. So I'll need to get at least one more trip in there. La 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 la. Is it true that you get more house for your money in Texas? It used to be that way. So the house I'm sitting in right now, we bought in 2013 for $270,000, brand new. So at 2,600 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. We bought our first house when we were young kids in 2004. It was a 2,000 square foot house, 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms for $145,000, brand new. Now Texas has gone crazy. This house right now is valued at $500,000. It's not $500,000 house. I mean, look, I put these sliding doors in, and I didn't fill in the little thingy from the old door. It's not $500,000 house. I answer every question in order. Hey, from Incheon Base 77 pilot. Hey, aviator videographer. And I'm flying the A40NG, burning Jet A. Most of my training was out of KI in India. India is very busy. We would take it to 120 knots till 4.64 to 0.6 miles out. So able to get off at the first exit. That's crazy. Hey, Dan, my wife and I really love your content. It helps us calm and settle after crazy days with a 4-year-old. 4-year-olds are crazy. I have a 7-year-old, and she's so crazy. I watched a video of a 737 FO the other day. He was flying a new Max. Have you heard of any news on how Boeing is doing and getting them delivered? I have not. My GPA in high school was, I graduated in 95 before many of you were born. It was maybe a 3.1. I am exceptionally average. Hey, Chad. Hey, Darren. A man stopped in at my airport today. His name was Jim Lightfoot. He said he used to be a chief pilot on 77 for you guys. Have you heard of him? I have not. 38, married with 4 kids. I just separated from a long-time job. How long would it take me to become a pilot and be able to do international flights like you? About 10 years. Hey, Captain Geeb. Thank you very much. Hey, Darren. It is Darren. And Darren Keast, your parents are very intelligent because they spelled your name correctly. There are so many Darrens out there. Be careful of these people out there. Darrin, Daron. Those people should be feared. Should be feared. Have you had to deal with crosswinds and landing at an angle? Many times. And crosswind, that's an experience thing. You have to get good at them. It takes time. And again, I've flown 6 types of aircraft. Every type I've flown has gotten easier and easier. The heavier the plane, the longer the plane, the bigger the rudder, the easier it is to land in a crosswind. My 777 has a giant rudder. Very little input is less input is needed versus when I flew the 145. I had a lot more rudder because it's smaller surface area. Hey, Darren. Hope you're well. As someone who's looking into the transition into the industry, currently working in IT, what question would you recommend asking at a networking events? What can I do to get to where you are? So I'm currently, and I'm a cubicle guy, and I want to be an airline pilot. So what mistakes do you see in candidates that I should avoid? And what traits are you looking for in candidates that would help me stand out from everyone else? What's your thoughts on 777X? I know nothing about the 777X. I know it has an X and the wingtips fold, but beyond that, I know nothing about it. I answer every question. It's about a 6-minute delay, 8-minute delay. Does your airline give you airplane models for free? Nope. Getting my eyes to 2020 for a first class medical? Yes. All the pilot content out there is very motivating. Soon enough, yeah. Again, my eyes are pretty, but they don't work very well. I wear glasses. I'm a university lecturer, also in the union, and always gotta learn always learn the contract. People that don't learn the contract are the people that get frustrated and mad, and I see them. Again, pilots, we're lazy, right? I see lots of pilots on my pilot forums that complain, but they don't either learn the contract or they ask questions ahead of time. Because again, most days are really easy at my job. I love what I do. Most days are so easy, but it's mostly on the narrow body when it is winter and you're de-icing, or you're dealing with weather, and then you get you're on the last leg. You're in Chicago, and it's the last leg to Dallas, and you're done. But then crap happens, and you're being reassigned to fly to Portland, Oregon, and you're supposed to be going to Dallas. It's like, can they do this? What happens if they do this? Do I get paid more money? Do I get my day off? Because now I'm flying to Portland, Oregon, and then they're heading home tomorrow on my day off. Is this even contractually legal? And the time to understand if it's legal or not, not legal. Not legal is like against the FAA rules. If it's contractual is a better word. Contractual. Um, is not when you're in the flight deck after and this is your second, third flight of the day, and you're a little, you should like kind of have a already seated in your head to know if it's contractual or not. Because it happens, man. You know, I've been in that situation where you think you're going home and you're not, or you think better, even worse. When I was a captain at my previous airline, I hate again. If you watch my videos, you know I hate cold. I was bidding. Bid 3 Mexico overnights in a row because I like warm in the winter, right? Uh, I did like a Houston hobby turn. And they're supposed to go down to Monterey, Mexico. I got reassigned to go to Madison, Wisconsin, where it was under 10 degrees Fahrenheit. I packed for Monterey. Flew up to Madison, went to the hotel, said, let's go outside and get some dinner. I went outside and my skin hurt. I was very upset. Sorry, I talk a lot. La 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 la. Hey, Darren, Embraer E2 captain here. Campinas, Brazil. Love your content. Hey, Alex. You know, we don't have the E2 in the United States. It's too heavy. I love how open you are about money. I teeter on putting the money stuff out there 'cause I don't ever want to be a bragger, right? That's not why I make videos or mention how much I make. I put it out there because I'll put it out there as a fact, not like, hey guys. Any reason you think why DFW is the most junior ERJ base for SkyWest right now? Usually, most junior means not desirable to pilots because it's a fairly new base for SkyWest. Because SkyWest used to be was an out west airline, right? It's a pretty new base for them. As a Californian, I would jump at any $500,000 home with 2,000 square feet. It is what it is. Airbus 350s, I have no idea. Might be personal, but you seem like you pay everything up front. Do you not do loans? No, it's not personal. I don't talk. We don't. my wife and I, we've always lived under our means. We like living under our means. Now, we do loans when it makes sense. Like, what did we buy recently? We bought something and we're paying it off. We bought stupid bar stools for our dining room. But it was no interest for a year. The house has a loan on it. Um, but we don't like buying things if we can't afford it. It's just how we are. And I told my wife the other day, so you're lucky that I'm weird with my money. I always think I'm broke. Like whenever I get paid, almost probably 60% of my paycheck goes into my savings account right away. So I don't see it. So when I look at my bank account, I get bank account emails every morning from Bank of America. I'm like, man, I'm broke. So I always think I'm broke, so I don't spend any money. I'm weird like that. Thanks for the answer. Totally unrelated. It's our first wedding anniversary tomorrow. Any advice for getting the 20? Hey, we get the 20 years are here in March. I have no idea. For our 20-year anniversary, we're going on a cruise with my mother-in-law's. How do you feel about DARYN? Those people are absolute freaks. They probably like Dunkin' Donuts coffee too. Can you get flights out of different hubs? Official J Force YT, I can. For example, if I want to fly out of LA, I can bid for a flight out of LA. But here's the issue. I'm Dallas based, right? Say if I pick up a flight to Sydney out of LA, that leaves at 10 p.m. at night. I have to get into position myself. So I have to find a way to get to LA. It's my responsibility to get to LA. Now, to be a responsible pilot, I would fly to LA the morning of, buy a hotel room, sleep all day long and rest, and then go to the airport for the flight to Sydney, right? But if I pick up a flight out of another base, I have to get there. That's my responsibility. It's not a deadhead. It's a commuting. So I'll probably never do that. What are your thoughts on opinion on people when people say if you want to fly for X airline, don't fly for their wholly owned regional because it will take longer to flow versus get higher for non-owned regional? Jax, people, that's a myth, in my opinion. I heard the same thing. I heard the exact same thing when I flew from my wholly owned regional. But then I've also again, I'm that person that got hired from a wholly owned regional, and I am average, right? If you take control of your career, there are many people. Oh, let's see. My airline put this out recently about this is the end of 2024. So last year they hired. Oh, this is bad. This is old stats. This is really old stats. So in Q1 last year, they hired 749 pilots. Of the 749, 138 came from Flow, 18%. Of the remaining 82%, of the remaining 611 pilots, 20 of those pilots were from wholly owned who could have flowed, right? That's not a huge percentage, but 20 pilots who could have flowed over were hired outside of Flow. So there's that. Darren, are you more of a slam clicker or do you enjoy spending time with the crew? Find as a more social person? There are a lot more folks who want to keep themselves these days. I'm more of a slam clicker. And here's the reason why. I hate waiting for people. I don't want people waiting on me, and I don't want to wait on people either. So when I get to especially now on the wide body, when I get to London, Madrid, Incheon, I take a nap right away. Period. And when I wake up, I want to go right away. I don't want to say, okay, we're meeting in 4 hours. But what if I take a nap for 2 hours? Then I'm just waiting in the hotel room for 2 hours, just wasting time. On my most recent trip to Madrid last week, I did go out with the crew. That video will be up probably next week. I did 2 trips back to back, London and Madrid, so it'll be a long video probably next week. Tech-related question, phones of choice right now, iPhone 15 Pro Max and a Pixel 9 Pro XL. My Pro Max, my camera right now is an iPhone 14 Pro Max. I have a 15 Pro Max and I have this Pixel 9 XL. I did not get the 16 Pro Max because I didn't see the value in it this year. What's the best advice to avoid burnout? Don't listen to the naysayers. Remember why you got into this whole flying thing. It's easy to, again, I feel for you guys that, 1,500 hours of CFIing is a lot. You have the pattern memorized to a point where you can close your eyes on downwind and know when it's time to turn base. And you can tell by the engine sound if they're fast or not. I get it. Remember why you got into this, right? It's a long road. It's a marathon. But to get to where you want to be, The day you get to walk in, the day you will get to walk onto an airliner and turn left instead of turning right. All the passengers turn right. Now, when passengers board the airplane, they often look to the left and they go right to their seats. The day you can walk on an airliner and turn left, it's pretty freaking cool. And when you're up there in the front of an airliner and you're getting ready and you're talking to the captain and you see people looking in your office, envious of where you are, very few people get to do what I get to do, right? For many reasons. So when you get to where you want to be, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. When do you expect to upgrade to captain? No hurry. Probably next. Probably it depends on how I am on the 777. DFW London on the 19th. You working flight 20. That's a late flight. I'm not working flight 20. That's like the 10 p.m. flight, isn't it? No, it's not. It's not. Oh, but I can't work on the 19th because my wife has to travel. No, I'm working on flight number 50 though at some point this month. Not telling you when. My parents may be very intelligent, but your opinion may differ on me. Helicopter pilots are crazy. Yeah, helicopter pilots, you're for auto rotation. Good theory. I'm a de-icing coordinator. What does it mean when a pilot says they need to configure for de-icing? What's the process for configuring? So for de-icing, say this plane is full of ice, right? Full of ice. And we're at the gate and there's ice over everything. The flaps are retracted. So no. Bad example. This plane came in, right? It came into Chicago full of ice and snow. The flaps are extended because we don't retract. If we land in ice and snow, we don't retract the flaps because we don't want to get ice into the wing sections and it, expand and everything else, right? So we leave the flaps down. So you often see flaps down at the gate when it's full of ice. So when it's time to de-ice, we taxi to the de-ice pad with the flaps and flaps down. They de-ice the airplane. Then when they're done, we put the flaps up and they apply the anti-ice. Also for configuring the airplane, might be turning off the APU. We turn off the packs. We turn off the air conditioners. We don't want to suck that de-icing fluid into the airplane. So part of getting the configuring for de-icing is shutting off the air conditioner. Some aircraft we have to turn off the internet, the satellites, turn those off as well. It depends on the airplane what we have to turn off to prepare for de-icing. I think on the Airbus we used to press the ditching button to close up all the holes on the outside of the airplane, but it's been a while. What part of your career did you not enjoy the moment but look back on the fondest? Coming from a 247 pilot, you keep me motivated. Probably my regional FO days. Like I was broke. I was really broke, and I flew a lot. And I sat airport ready reserve a lot. But the regional days different. It was different. It was more of a crew, and we're all broken. We're all broken this together attitude. Can you talk about the difference between division of duties, flying regional versus mainline versus widebody? So division of duties is similar from regional and mainline as far as captain and FO. Now for widebody, it's very different because at regional and mainline, there's a captain, there's an FO. You fly, captain steers on the ground, but otherwise you do the same job. Widebody is different in that there's one captain, and for like flights to London, there's two first officers, right? So if I'm the relief pilot, when it's time for the captain to take a break, I sit in the captain's seat. Now, I might not be in charge. The captain delegates who's in charge. And generally speaking, it's whoever has the most experience on the airplane, not the most senior pilot. Because the most senior pilot could be brand new on the airplane, right? So if I'm in the captain's seat, the other FO is more experienced, then they're in charge, even though I'm in the captain's seat. Yet we're all making so the captain's in the back sleeping. And now it's two FOs up front flying the airplane, and we can do a diversion without having the captain's authority, captain's permission. So it's different in that you have a much more captain mentality on the wide body than on the narrow bodies. How was the Mercedes? It was pretty good. It only had 9,000 miles on it, but whoever had it before couldn't park the car. The wheels were all curved, and it needs tires. So I'm gonna wait and see if they drop the price by another $1,000 because tires by $1,000. So if they drop the price a little bit more, I might do the deal. Evening, first time catching your live. Like I said, I'm retired, been married for 3 years, January 31st, and I've been retired for 6 years. Welcome to your retirement. Airline financial information that you put out is by far the most educational information out there for pilots, far superior and more in-depth than other airline. Thank you very much, Jax. And I only wish I had more data from when I was a regional pilot, because from my regional days, all I have. So again, I'm a very humble person. I have my very first pay statement from my very first airline, right? So that amount you see is that is for half a month of work, $1,383.78. So I keep this on my desk to stay humble. I wish I had more data for back then. How many years can you fly in a month before? How many hours can you fly in a month before you max out? 100 hours in a roll in 28 days. But if I bid for LX any flight at the right time, you and my Blancario might do a collab. It's very possible. Thank you, Machibe Gucci. Evening, Darren. How long did it take you to go from reserve to line holder? I got lucky. I am a bottom end scrappy line holder. Like I think I'm the second to last line holder. I got on the airplane in April. I was a line holder in January. I could have been a line holder in December, but I didn't check the right box. And I'm a line holder again in February. Again, I am a bottom end line holder, meaning there are pilots that are senior to me that opted to bid reserve, so I got a line. Are you moving from Tesla like me? Probably so. Planning on buying your kids' cars? Or they're getting hand-me-downs. And I'm really thinking about getting. I want to find like a $4,000 manual 1999 2002 Honda Civic for my oldest kid to learn on. I want my oldest kid to learn on a not a beater car, but like a manual transmission vehicle. But the plan is to give her one of our old cars. So my wife has a 2020 Model Y, and right now it's 5 years old. It'll be 6 years old by the time she's 16, and right now it has like maybe 29,000 miles on it. So it's very low mile, but older car. But they're not getting a brand new car by any means. Heck no. How long are you required to stay in the seat you currently fly? How long and how do you bid different AC type? How's your seniority in that seat work? I have a 2-year seat lock, although I can break it by being a captain. And I can just they have a vacancy bid 4 times a year. They say we have these openings, and I can just put my bid in, and whatever my seniority can hold, it can go to. What was your first airline flight like? It was Chicago to Cleveland, so windy and snowy. I couldn't take off and couldn't land. Hey now, when they boarded 777 from L2 and I've got an upgrade to Biz on points, I got to turn left. Wow, okay, you are absolutely true. Did you ever apply for any scholarships in flight training? I did not. I'm a slacker. In a 300 ER, what is your highest initial altitude at max gross weight in your ISA standard atmosphere? About 31,000 feet. I'm wondering, did you go to a flight school? No, I am civilian. I went to I went to a flight school. I am a civilian. Sorry, I went to ATP flight school 18 years ago. I do not recommend any certain flight school. I've been outside the flight school regime for so long that whatever I say is not relevant. I was broke. I was really broke. I'm not laughing at you. I'm just amazing. Dude, I am. I was. You have no idea how broke I was. Uh, at DFW Airport, there's a barbecue place by B9, Cousins Barbecue. Now they used to be further down in the B20 gates, and they used to sell a baked potato with meat, barbecue sauce, and all these fixings for like $6.90 or so. This is in 2008, 9, right? Well, most people don't get all the sides because it's not that good. I was broke. I would go and I would ask for the biggest potato they had with brisket, and then I want all the sides. Can I have extra sour extra sour cream, and that would be my meal for the whole day. Yeah. And then, like, as a regional pilot, we stayed at a lot of low-end hotels, but low-end hotels have free breakfast. You darn sure I was down there for free breakfast, and I would eat until I could not eat anymore. Um, were you nervous at all flowing from your regional? I have a good seniority number as a captain to become one of the most junior FOs in New Airline. So I didn't flow, I got hired, but leaving my regional is very nerve-wracking, right? Because when you go to a new airline, if you don't pass training, you're out. And again, going and this whole airline gig is all seniority. It's all seniority. And you spend your whole life getting senior as an FO, then junior as a captain, then senior-ish as a captain, then junior as a captain of New Air Fleet. You're always trying to find where you want to level off at, right? Yeah, it was very nerve-wracking, but love what I do. Does your airline have any long haul 2 pilot trips? The longest haul would be like Dallas, I mean, sorry, Miami to LA. Why is the gig layover so short for flights coming from Miami? I have no idea. I watched a video where Discover Airlines has a flight from Phil to Frankfurt, 8 hours, and it's a 2 pilot trip for them. No, they have New York to London at my airline for 2 pilots. Depends on the time of day it is. Would you ever buy your own airplane? Never. I have zero desire to buy my own airplane. Can you become a pilot if you have ADHD? I cannot answer any medical questions. I have no medical training. Your last live, you said you wanted to be a teacher. I'm a teacher myself. If you weren't a pilot and were a teacher, what grade level would you want to teach? So, Kelsey, I went to college to be a high school teacher, and I wanted to teach. So, this whole who I am, a lot of it has to do with my 10th grade teacher for newspaper and yearbook. Her name is Miss Nancy Easterling. Amazing woman. I am friends with her on Facebook to this day. This is how amazing this woman is. She was such an inspiration in my life. She helped really mold me to who I am. That I'm like, I want to do what she does. So I have a degree in journalism and a double major in sociology, and I was going to teach high school newspaper and yearbook. And then I interned and realized, uh, hey, Darren just leased a new Honda Prologue to drive me to flight school. I'm turning into, hey, Mr. Herrick. So you probably know your Honda Prologue is a twin to my Chevrolet Equinox EV. Awesome, especially in Arizona. Especially turning on that AC in the summertime, you're gonna love it. I make more as an Olive Garden server than your first regional check. Oh yeah, dude, this was in 2000. I was broke back then. How much was ATP back then was $63,000 all in. Oh, I know. I'm going through flight school now. 3 kids. I squeezed a quarter so hard the eagle screams. Absolutely. How many logged hours do I have? So checks. I don't log time anymore. My union logs my time for me. I believe I have around 11,000 to 12,000 hours. I know people are like, "You don't log your time?" I'm not going anywhere. Now, I have an electronic logbook that's backed up in 3 different places, and then my union has logged all my time for me since I've been in the airline. If someday we start shrinking and I'm gonna be furloughed, it'll take me about 3 or 4 hours to download my union logbook and push it into my electronic logbook. Uh, and I use electronic nowadays. I'm not flown to Sydney, but I might fly there in March. Gonna have a week off. Hey, Darren, if you're at pay 5 FO, same fleet, and go to captain, you go to year 5 pay at most airlines. So I'm at year 8 pay right now on the 777. I've only flown 777 for 1 year. If I go to captain next year on the Airbus, I go to year 9 captain pay. If I go crazy or if I bid wrong and I bid the 737 captain, I never flown a 737, I'd be at year 9 737 captain pay. Do you have any bucket list flights, airports? Yes. I want to fly to Hong Kong, Shanghai, Sydney, Brisbane. Yeah, yeah. I'd love to fly a very light jet, and I also want to fly a sport plane one day. 59, too old to fly. Coin Holio, not too old to fly, but if you have the money, you can do it. You can still make captain at a regional. And you can also fly in Part 135 as well, forever. Can you become a pilot if you're bad at math? You can. I'm horrible at math. Also, if you stutter, you have a stutter, you can still be a pilot. Any reason other pilots at your airline are allowed to be pretty open at what they do, what airline they're at? I don't. I have no idea why. So if you go from Airbus captain to the 777 captain, it depends, Darren Keith, and it's all on seniority. Because again, seniority is so hard to discuss and explain. It all depends on your seniority number. If you, let's say you got hired here when you were 24 years old, right? You became captain at 30, and you spent 20 years as an Airbus captain. Well, but chances are, when you go to 777 captain, you can be pretty senior because you've been here at that point for like 23 years, about 25 years, but however long. It's all based on your seniority number. That's it. It's all based on how long you've been at the airline, not how long you've flown an airplane. Doesn't matter. How long you've been here. Here. La 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 la. What do you think is the best way to get to a legacy carrier? Airline conventions and networking. Okay, Airbus 220, I love the automation, ergonomics, etc. I love the Airbus products. 777 looks kind of uncomfortable. It's not uncomfortable. It's just different. It's a big airplane, but I will say that my Airbus 320 flight deck was more logical than the Boeing 777 flight deck is. But the Boeing 777 has plenty of room. It's wider than the Airbus 320 flight deck. The actual room, as far as like leg room for the jump seaters, is about almost the same. Almost the same. What does your 10 pay look like hourly on a my pay is public. You can go to Airline Pilot Central and look at it. I think your 10 pay is like 4 something $100 an hour. I'll look it up. If I put on 737, I'd pray for you. Yeah. If I put on 737, if I ever make a video saying I'm going to go fly a 737, that is my cry for help. That is my cry for help. Any of your bucket flights worth commuting for one time? No. Ben, this printer has never been used. This 3D this 3D printer, I have never used it. It's not the plastic on it. I built it during bad COVID and never used it. I'm bad. Babysitting situation, for the rare chance you and your wife work together. Oh, my wife's not a flight attendant. My wife works from home. So, yeah. Long hairs, but as an airline pilot, my hair can't be past my collar. I'm almost done with the live. Ever flown Embraer E2? I have not. I have not. We don't have in the United States. Is it difficult to understand controllers in other countries? It can be because English is not their first language. Uh, they have thick accents, and you have to be very careful in other countries speaking English, right? They Many of them know aviation English. They don't know conversational English. Every now and then, you'll hear a U.S. pilot say, "Hey, center, we're getting a bumpy ride here at 370. How are the rides ahead?" They have no freaking idea what you just said. You have to say, "Center, we're getting light turbulence at flight level 370. Are there any turbulence reports ahead?" They know the word turbulence. They don't know what chop means. When you travel to Argentina, how do you have to pay with huge amounts of currency? So I've been there just twice. First time I got a lot of money in cash. Last time I was there, I used my credit card. So number one seniority will be number one no matter what plane he moves to. Correct. Better answer, Rob. Youth. Yes. The number one pilot. So right now, the number one pilot at my airline is on a wide body, right? If they were to go to the Airbus FO, they'd be the top Airbus no matter where they go. The number one pilot gets exactly what they want. Hong Kong is super fun. Was there first time it's winter. Kind of sad. I'm too young to have that Kai Tak Airport. They look fun. I wish they would have that airport back on flight sim to fly in there. The videos look crazy. Uh, wow. Uh, a guy I flew with 9 years ago just texted me. That's crazy. Uh, why did he text me just now? Wow. Oh, so hold on a second. I taught this guy way back. Wow. Okay. Anyways, interesting. Random text. La 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 la. Was the DLR test the hardest thing about being a pilot? The test before getting fully hired by an airline? We don't have a DLR test. You often say that you're frugal, but everyone has a vice beyond glasses. What's my indulgence? Technology. My house, if you're an IT person, I have over 150 devices on my home network. I have a lot of crap, a lot of home automation. A lot of I love home automation. Uh, so I indulge in IT and computer stuff. One day, I'm gonna clean my desk and show you my setup. It's not amazing, but and again, I have a lot of IT stuff. Like, yeah, I have to be careful because whenever all my technology and home automation has to be seamless for my wife. Because if you're married, you know, if she presses a button and the right thing doesn't happen, mm-mm, My first officer on 77 with a 121 car carrier. I don't fly 30 hours a month on average. Currently sitting around 2,000 hours. What do you recommend for me to get job fairs, airline convention, NGPA next month? Oh no, my wife. So my wife does travel for work every now and then, Jaden. So when my wife travels for work, we have to fly in a babysitter. So every now and then, if I have to both, we have never. It's a lie. Maybe once or twice in the last 17 years, we both had to work. We fly my mother-in-law in to watch our kids. Do you find it hard or annoying when pilots in other countries speak their native language? I find it extremely annoying because I'm out of the loop, and they're right. But when there's weather going on and they're speaking like Spanish or the Japanese only speak English, but the French speak French. South America, they all speak Spanish. But Japanese, they only speak English, and I respect that. Master in physics, I have an A in physics for non-majors. How long does the number seniority last? Depends how old they are. Right now, my union website's not working very well, but you could be number one for 5 years or just a few months. What's your priority when non-revving? D2. Do you think American Express Platinum card is best travel airline card? It's very good. I use the benefits of my Platinum card. Should I do a cadetship program or go to university? They're both good answers. Home networking gear. So I use Ubiquity. Ubiquity is my home Wi-Fi thingy. I have 6 access points, and a ton of. I like wired and a ton of networking cables. I don't have a server rack. I wish I don't have. I have just a rat's nest in our master bedroom closet. Do you know if your airline is actively poaching applicants from other air majors? I have no idea. Do airlines test your math, physics, reasoning, flight skills before getting hired? Depends on the airline. Do you have a lot of random names and numbers in your phone from crew you've flown with? I do, Chris. I do. I have this guy, Brett, who just texted me. So I don't even have his number stored in. He first texted me back in 2017. This is Brett, your CJ Sim FO. I should have let you fly first day. Hope you're doing good at Envoy. Yeah, I do remember this guy, but he just texted me randomly over the years. It's very funny. Like he texted me in 2019. Yeah, that's just weird. Almost done with the live because my throats went out. I'm going to start flight training while working full time 9 to 5. What's the most important piece of advice? Have a set schedule and don't vary from it. Don't take weeks off. Go at least three times a week. We recommend getting a 4-year degree, master's in airline management. I think getting an airline degree and flight training is a bad combination. Don't go down the video rabbit hole. I've got a full studio set up online for teaching, and it's dangerous. It's very fun. It is. So, yeah, my media room is turned into my I have a green screen upstairs. I got the studio lights, microphone holder thingy, and stands. Yeah. I did flight school plus college. No, I did not. You can do flight school and college at the same time. It's possible. What are all those books? Those books in the background are mostly my wife's books. I married a very intelligent woman. My wife is extremely intelligent. Almost all those books are hers. That clock in the middle is mine for my fraternity. But it's their DNA books, travel books, and some Harry Potter stuff. Ubiquity is yeah. Are there any aircraft types you'd like to fly? Airbus G50 is like Cat 6. Darren, you're speaking at my language. I've got an Ethernet cable by my couch just in case something. Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy how much crap we have. Like I'm trying to get into smart panels, and I've taken some Amazon Fire tablets and repurposed them with action tiles so we can have like a smart panel. But problem is those Fire tablets last about 1.5 years, always powered on, they die. And I can't buy new ones that fit in the same shell. So I'm always having to buy new shells and tablets every year. It's very annoying. I wish they make a smart panel for Samsung smart things that I can just mount and be done with it. Darren, what are your thoughts on mainline pathway programs? Nothing wrong with that. I think they're fine. There's nothing wrong with them. How do you make the connection to get your first commercial job? My first commercial job was at a regional, and that was through my flight school. This job fairs, and airline conventions. I am a huge introvert.
I hate public speaking. Right now, I am talking to my camera. I'm not talking to 210 people right now. I'm talking to my camera. So it took me a lot to get out of my shell for these airline conventions, right? And the way I'm speaking to you right now, by the way, is not my real voice. I have a whole fake voice I use just for speaking, public speaking. If you ever get to know me really well and we're in a chill environment, this is not how I talk. And I can't not talk like this because I know what I'm doing right now. But my normal way of speaking is not like this at all. It's also how I talk on the airplane. The 777 $200 crew bunks really that bad? They are. The 200 bunks are horrible. I wish I could show them to you, but I can't. I can't show you anything on the airplane I can only show you things on the airplane that a normal passenger could see. So I'm not allowed to show you. I can only show you things that a normal passenger could see in a normal flight. Why? Because I would fly 330 over 7576. What will your story be when I'm 65? I think number 940. I think. Do you pick up any Spanish from your? So habla mal español. Lo siento. Uh, pero yeah, hablo mal español, lo siento. Un poquito más despacio, por favor. Do you like flights? Flights go by very quickly when I'm working, and when I'm talking to the other pilot and we're having a great conversation, a 9-hour flight goes by like that. If we're both quiet, it takes forever. Do you see the boom test flight today? Thoughts? Did not see it. Telling us this is your fake voice is the most real thing I've ever heard on YouTube. This is actually my fake voice. Yes, this is not how I talk. Again, very few people who ever know from social media know how I really talk. So you don't think an airline degree in flight training is no bueno? Would you recommend getting a degree outside of aviation? Getting a degree outside of aviation or learning a skill or trade? Here's my whole thought process. Let's say you go get all your flight ratings. You go through 50 and you got an aviation degree. And you go through all your 1,500 hours. And you're like, I'm done. Airlines are hiring people like that. I'm ready to go. And you tell your CFI school, I'm done. And you go home and you submit on the airline application. They say you're hired. You're like, yes, I'm hired. And then you go to bed and you wake up and something happened. And airlines aren't hiring. And it happened to people in 2020 that March 2020, they thought they got their forever airline job. And guess what? They had to rescind the offer and no one was hiring. What are you going to do to support yourself? Have a skill, have something outside aviation you can do to make money. I still know how to fix computers. My background is hardware troubleshooting and repair. I can still build a computer. I still know how to troubleshoot. I still troubleshoot. I was troubleshooting my stupid furnace for 2 weeks. I figured out what the issue was. Right? I love troubleshooting. That's what I do. So if this career went crap up and I had to go find a job, I can still go back to what I used to do. Right? Non-aviation related. So. The passenger airline that are less careful than you about showing things, are they just extra bold? They're just extra bold. Do you know the shortest runway airport Kirkland flies to 772? Probably Maui. Darren, shout out from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Saw you coming in this morning. Your flight was fixing. You're inbound 321. Hey, Sergio. Sorry I couldn't say hi to you. I walked fast. Been here since 2021. Heard your real voice. So Jaden, if you've been here a long time, you know how I used to talk, and it ain't like this. Good night. During the hiring, most of us need aviation degrees since we're young. Nobes, G-Nobes, that is a great point. That is something that wasn't around when I was younger. So if you're 19 years old, if you have an aviation degree, that I get. Be cautious. Short call reserve, you only get to fly 10 hours, you still get full pay. Airlines hire 15 hours. Do airlines hire CFIs with no turbine time? Yes. So I just short video. Disappointing for car enthusiasts like me to see use like a cars. Did you ever have a mentor in the industry before getting into airlines? I did not. I'm a first generation pilot. What question would you want to ask by an aspiring pilot? How do I get to where you are? What mistakes did you make that you wish I not make? I was on the warn list and now upgraded. The times have changed so fast. On the warn list. Huh. Always had to step back up there and change your glasses 2 times. I can't. I took my glasses down the hallway. Hold on. I think I can do it. Oh, I can't do it. I see one pair of glasses. No. I only have I only have one pair of glasses. Oh, wait. I can do it. So, one pair. And two pair. La 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 la. Good night. You guys have a great night. Appreciate you guys' time. I do have to go because my throat is going out. It's been an hour. My name is Darren. I'm a dad. I'm an airline pilot. I'm a husband of a scientist. I make videos about once a week about aviation. 'Cause I love aviation so much. If you're just watching this, please subscribe. I appreciate you guys subscribing. My next video will probably be up on Thursday. Is probably going to be a review of my month of January. My next trip style video will be up a week from Thursday. It'll cover London and Madrid back-to-back trips. Again, if you want to know when I go live, click the notification bell to follow me. Have a great night. And as always, thank you for stopping by. Boo! Oh, wait. Wrong way. And nope, not done yet. I moved the monitor. There we go.